J.B. Priestley wrote successfully in many different forms. For example, he published over 25 novels. In fact, he published more novels than plays. With this in mind, we have to consider, why did Priestley choose to write an Inspector Calls as a play? Would it have worked as well as a novel? Fortunately, we have the words of Priestley himself to answer these questions. In 1947, shortly after writing an Inspector Calls, Priestley published a non-fiction work titled Theatre Outlook. In this book, he explains that he did not go to work in the theatre and then discover, because it helped me to earn a living, that the theatre is important. I left other kinds of writing, which offered me a safe living and far more peace of mind, to work in the theatre because I believed the theatre to be important. Well, the obvious question here is, how and why is the theatre important? And Priestley goes on to explain that we must look at a play differently to other forms of literature. If we analyse simply the writer's use of language, for example, we offer no appreciation of the unique aspects of drama. We could, as he puts it, enjoy all these taking your own time at home. No, to Priestley there was something unique about theatre, and it's essential in an Inspector Calls. He explains how a genuine theatrical audience is not simply an assembly of individuals, all reacting as they would in private. Everything is heightened and felt more because in such an audience there is a collective response. He continues, you on your side cannot fully enjoy what is happening unless you lose your sense of separation from the people all round you, become part of the audience, and indeed part of the whole performance, sharing the collective response and experience. So there it is. To Priestley, the form of drama refuses to allow the audience to experience the text in isolation and joins them together collectively. It's a form of literature which breaks down barriers and individualism and forces a collective response. This, of course, ties in nicely with the main theme of the text, collective responsibility. The inspector's words, "we are members of one body," adequately describe the collective nature of a theatre audience. Therefore, we can argue that the form of the text actually helps to create a glimpse of the collective society Priestley is calling for. Another unique aspect of this form is pointed out by Manfred Pfister in the Theory and Analysis of Drama. One consequence of the collective reception of dramatic texts is that the individual receiver is unable to vary the tempo of the reception process, nor can he usually interrupt it at will or have sections repeated if he has failed to understand the text. The reader of a novel, on the other hand, can determine his own reading speed, abandon or take up the text when he wishes, or even simply leaf through it forwards or backwards as his whim takes him. So what is Pfister saying? With a play, the audience is not in control. If they mishear a line of dialogue, they cannot revisit it. If they wish to refer back to an earlier event to check something, they cannot. If they are struggling to concentrate, they can't put the text down and have a rest. They are a captive audience. Whilst the characters on stage do all at least once escape the intensity of the action, not one character in an Inspector Calls remains on stage throughout the entire play, the audience cannot do the same. The audience is not granted even a moment's respite from the interrogation and its effects. Why is that? Perhaps because Priestley wants to challenge the audience with the message of the play, refusing to let up or give them respite from the intensity. This then means that drama is the perfect form for an Inspector Calls. As Maggie Gale puts it in her book, J.B. Priestley, Priestley maintained that theatre had the power to educate and to integrate and enliven a community, to help it think through the social issues which affected it. Yes, it was in the setting of the theatre that Priestley truly felt he could challenge his audience, challenge them with a lesson they could not get away from. Well, I hope you found this short video useful. Do check out my animated videos on an Inspector Calls. I'll link the playlist here, and do subscribe to the channel.